But I had one friend who said, I think heaven's going to be like one big Bible study. And I've heard a lot of people go, ugh, when they heard that. And I was like, hell yeah, I got goosebumps. Hell yeah. I have a lot of questions. Whoa. And I figured, considering the talking to I'm probably going to get on the first day, after I get my talking to and the whipping and purgatory that has never existed until it was made just for me, that I got some questions. I got some big questions. So eternity before the fall, I was running around the beach with a snake who was upright, trying to find the lions so I could cornrow their hair. You know what I'm saying? And heaven is this glitzy, shiny place of precious jewels, and I get to find out everything I just pretend to know right now. So in between, what is this? We're in a prison, and we're making the best of it. That really is the truth. That's as good as it gets. I remember that movie, and when I say that, I really think of that moment. He said, what if this is as good as it gets? And I was like, he's right. You know, it's never going to improve. It doesn't improve. It just goes on and on and on. And the alternative is dying, and since no one's 100% sure of what happens after we die, and we're all slightly scared, plus how to get from here to there is probably not very pleasant, we hold on to this prison for dear life. Keep us captive on this horrible planet. Stockholm Syndrome. Thank you. You are cultured, by the way. Now, did I prove myself cultured yet again tonight? I'm sorry, but Google it. Google it. Google Leon Russell and Google Stockholm Syndrome. You'll be so impressed with me. So, but the reality is everybody, not everybody, but people walk around like they know it all and they have it all and they're better than everyone, and the same thing's going to happen to them. And believe it or not, when that day comes, all that they thought mattered won't. Good and bad. Good and bad. We artists archive. We make files, we make sure that every single thing we've ever done is available for mankind, so if we die, it's still there. I have instructions written out of what to do with everything. You know what I'm saying? I sat down with my oldest daughter and I said, this is my legacy, and I heard her go, you know, and I said, you know, screw you, kid. I go, you better hope you have a legacy. And by the way, everyone always told me you guys were my legacy. It's rock and roll, baby. So, you know, it's not you. It's not you. So here's what happens. Then my son died, and my daughter came to me and said, I'll make sure I take care of everything. You know what I'm saying? Because we care about what we do in this life. But I promise you, there will come a day when I don't care anymore. That'll be the farthest thing from my consciousness. I thought that happened around the night, like tonight around 5 o'clock. I was thinking, that's right about now. No, but but the reality is one day it doesn't matter. What matters is today, and just today. Every day, that's what matters. But today is only successful if it builds toward a better tomorrow. Meaning that it doesn't matter what I do today as long as I like it, is not what I'm saying. I'm saying tomorrow will matter only for 24 hours. It'll be the most important day of our lives. tomorrow. And what we do today will grossly affect it. 10 years from now, we'll be grossly affected by what we did during the 10 years. If eternity before was God blowing us away and experiencing life through our eyes and inspiring Him to whatever was next for God, and eternity down the line is spending eternity with God, being mesmerized by God, and finding out all the things we wondered about all these years, and then on to the next thing, whatever that is. God, I hope He's not making us a bunch of Jesuses that have to go get crucified somewhere. That would so suck. And I've thought about it too. I've thought, well, what if we're all being like going through this process because there's like 50 billion planets that He created with races of whatever's on them, and we're all going to be the new baby Jesus. I'm on the beach with the snake that talks. That's where I want to be. Leave me alone. I am convinced that when I was preparing for tonight, that God told me that the only way to survive this prison with any dignity, with any hope, with any joy, with any inspiration that would spill out to others, would be to wake up every day and say, I can't wait to see what God does today. I can't wait to see what God does today. Not, I'm really looking forward to this, can't wait till I get to do this, oh, it's going to be really cool, oh, I'm going to do this. That's all great. I can't wait to see what God does today. I can't wait. I have this huge problem. I can't wait to see what God does about it. I have this thing going on. I can't wait to see. But I just can't wait to see what God does today, separate from all my stuff. I can't wait to see what God does today. How else would we be waking up in the Garden of Eden? We'd be waking up in the presence of God, if we went to sleep at all, by the way. Who knows what we did? Who knows? But I would think until we grew tired of Him, we would be following Him around going, whoa, what's He going to do now? God, Paisley, please. Here are my keys. Play on my keys. That's when God invented gummy bears. Paisley, here's some gummy bears. Okay, I'll count them. Count them a lot. Okay. Seriously, what would we be doing? What are we going to do for all eternity? I suspect, in some way, whatever God does, He sits there, we probably sit there. If He goes jogging, we probably go jogging. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Rest? That sounds like hell. Just for some of us, resting sounds like hell. You know, I got things to do. I'd be like, can I organize something up here, God? Because you guys are like really complacent. And the music. Harp's cute for like 1 millennia, but enough. You know. I think everyone thinks that their lives are so unique and so special and so singular, and they're confused. We are unique and special and singular. Our lives not so much. It's us. It's our being that's so unique and precious, but not our lives. Our lives are not our lives. They're our period of prison trapped in time. period of time trapped in prison. Either way works. Our lives are eternal. And the minute you start thinking eternally, you start thinking of things like, I won't have to pay that bill. You know, and I love to eat, but I sure don't like to cook, and I sure as hell don't like to clean, and I don't like it when the bill comes. I don't have to pay the check. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, we think of deliverance from this prison. Well, our deliverance is nigh. It's now. It's right here and now, on earth as it is in heaven, or in time as it is in eternity. If we do not face today with, I can't wait to see what God does, that's sort of like Christmas morning and walking by the tree in the presents and not going, I want to open those. Literally, there's a choice. If we don't believe God's going to do anything, we have no hope. We have no vision, and without a vision the people will perish. God, you knew that. Oh my gosh. I fasted and prayed that you know that, and you did. No. Forgive me again. I've woken up to no hope that I've earned very fair in this life. And I've watched the world around me wake up to no hope, and I've gone, call your children, have breakfast, tell them you love them, have them send you a picture of grandkids. I am absolutely convinced that I have been delivered of problems because now I know what a problem is. Now I know what a real burden feels like. Now I know what it feels like to wake up every day and have no escape. I can't believe I saw it on some TV show where, and a bad TV show, and I looked it up online and I couldn't find it attributed to anyone but this TV show, where someone said, my mom told me once that grief is like a suitcase that you keep by your bed, and every day you get up and you have to carry it everywhere you go for the rest of your life. And some days it's so heavy you can't even lift it, and other days you're amazed how you can actually carry it and get through all the stuff in your day, and at the end of the day you park it right next to your bed and you look at it and you know tomorrow it'll be there waiting for you and you can do it all over again. I still have a free hand to carry hope. And I have fought the hardest battle of my life in the last year and a half. To be able to say when I'm alone, there's something to wake up for. And anyone who has kids knows telling someone, well, you have your other children, is so cruel. Just the cruelest thing to say. I know people don't mean well. It would be better if you said you have your dog and your cat. Wake up for them, because apples and oranges. You know? But I have never not seen God move in my life every single day for 32 years. I've never not seen him move in my life. I've never gone to bed one night and said, you didn't do much today. I've said, I walked right by the Christmas tree and just ignored what was under it, and it was all mine. Many times. To which he says, it's still there waiting. I don't sleep, Paisley, let's go. Let's go. Every single day. I've said this all along. I've said this forever. I've never doubted Christ because he's present when everything else isn't present. He's consistent when everything else isn't consistent. Life sucks when we think this is our life, because this is time trapped in prison. Eternity rocks. On earth as it is in heaven is about pulling eternity into the present. Not just by obedience in the sense of not doing the obvious sins, but it's by obedience, by taking the kingdom of heaven by violence, by aggressively attacking the things of God and say, this will not be my life. This will not be my life. During my last days with my son, he talked to me about how God had talked to him about my quality of life. And he said, I'm very concerned about your quality of life. He said, you are living under the poverty line, and you're all alone in a gloomy house, and you give it up your whole life for others and doing what you do. And he goes, I think you're lonely, and I think you're sad, and I think you're sick, and I think that God wants to totally change your quality of life. And he said to me, he goes, I'm totally committed to being an agent for that. He handed me a big wad of cash. Like, what are you doing? And he goes, money talks and bullshit walks, and you need this. And I was like, well, I'm not taking your money, son. I should have taken it, because after he died, I looked in his wallet, it was gone. So either he splurged or one of his friends took it out in the desert before they came and got him. Seriously. I just said that on a videotape. Well, good thing some people don't ever watch this. But how am I doing in time watcher? Woo, I'm doing great. I have 3 more hours left. All right. It's only Big Brother. Once they move like Devious Mates to Monday night, I have no reason to stop. If this were Monday night, I would have been done at 7:15. Just enough time to miss the commercials. So, but he said, he goes, God wants to improve your quality of life. And I said to him, I go, well, he just did. And he goes, what do you mean? I said, well, you've really always been quite a pain in the ass, and you're now listening to God in your life, and I'm going to sleep just fine about you. Because I know what it looks like when God's talked to someone, and I saw it, and I was like, well, there you go. What's interesting is my son's passing has literally destroyed my life. I stood over him that night, I go, well, so much for quality of life, son, thanks a lot. I'm completely destroyed now. Well, I know what irony is. I know things now that I didn't know before. And the one thing that I know is that I was always right about Jesus. Always right. Always. So crystal clear on that. That when it came right down to today's the day, I look him in the eye and say, I have done everything you've asked, and this happens, and that's not in my heart. I'm a great guy and all. I'm not that great. Jesus must actually live in the beast. And what I've seen so much is that if I'm going to survive this, I better have a whole new idea of what life looks like. And I better have a whole new idea of what quality of life means. And I better have a whole new idea of what eternity looks like. And if I don't master pulling eternity into my present, I'm done for. Done for. Forgive me if I never say, oh, I'm so glad this happened. But, again, not a day that goes by that I can't point to something God did in my life. Make every day more eternal than present, even if it kills you. And don't wait till someone else dies to do it. I've done it my entire Christian walk, more than most people I know. I've never perfected it, but now I have to do it to survive. Now it's not the luxury, now I don't have the luxury to pick and choose what days I'm going to grab onto Jesus for dear life. But I guess that's what eternity is, huh? We get faced with one last transition that is probably very, very frightening. My kids' grandfather on their mom's side, if he hasn't died while I've been talking, is probably not going to make it through the night. And while there's really no love lost between us, per se, even though I have to say he's tried to be nicer to me since my son died, my kid's mom will have lost her son and her dad within less than 2 years. And my daughters will have lost their brother and one of their grandparents. Well, they've actually lost her mom in less than 2 years. So basically they'll lose both grandparents on that side of the family and their brother within a 2-year period. We are all watching people fall off the earth. We're all watching people fall off the earth. We are called to be examples of hope. We failed at examples of love. We failed miserably. We're called to be examples of love. We're called to be examples of hope. We're called to be agents of love and agents of hope. Because that is salvation. When a simple human being looks and goes, only God could have done that. Only God could get you through this. You know, when my daughters come to me and say, it's amazing you're still the same person. It's amazing you're still the same person. I mean, we know you've been completely changed by this, but you haven't lost you in this process. You still are out there trying to learn something. You're still trying to share something. You're still trying to find something to laugh about. You're still looking for something new to experience. You're still participating in life. And I say it's because I am participating in eternity. And the stakes kind of went up for me with that eternity because now my son's there. But I'm very well aware of the world around me and the way people struggle and the way they face their struggles. And I just want to scream and shake people and slap people and say, gosh, it's really not as bad as you think it is. It really isn't. It really isn't. You know, like if someone came to me, well, it could be worse. I go, yeah, all 3 of them could have gotten killed that night. I mean, that's about the only way it could have been worse, right? You know, and I know that this whole week I've said over and over again that tell people to grab